Tonight, police say this man, 38-year-old Ramin Khodakaramrezaei, stalked, shot, and killed podcaster Zohreh Sadeghi and her husband before appearing to take his own life.
They have the active hostage situation. The shooter is not detained.
A neighbor says their security camera caught the commotion overnight.
It was blood-curdling to hear.
Investigators say Khodakaramrezaei listened to Sadeghi's live podcast for people who speak Farsi looking for jobs in the tech industry and befriended her through a chat app. They communicated, but things quickly escalated.
This is the absolute worst outcome for a stalking case. This is every victim, every detective, every police chief's worst nightmare.
I can believe it from that police chief there. This would be a nightmare for any of these police departments, maybe because who knows if there's some kind of bridge between stopping these types of things before it happens. This happened up in the Seattle area, though. A fan of this podcaster, Zohreh Sadeghi, eventually found and killed her and her husband there. But that was after she was seeking some of this help from police. Let's watch more.
Just a week before her death, Sadeghi filed a request for an order of protection against the suspect, alleging in chilling detail a pattern of behavior that made the 33-year-old fear for her safety. According to the order, Sadeghi said the gunman left her voicemails more than 10 times a week, sending flowers, even sending her husband more than 20 messages a day, writing, "He won't let me go. And the only thing that will make all of this stop is if he killed himself or died." Also saying her stalker was delusional, writing, "These delusions make me fear for my life and the lives of my loved ones."
And sadly, those fears were real. This is what some of the issues were with the protection that she was hoping to have, and this is just the system as it goes. This is what they had mentioned had gone down. Our detectives had warrants to get information from his phone and were trying to serve the no contact order to the suspect, but had not done so yet. Being that he's a truck driver, a trucker, he's hard to pin down. That's what the police department spokesperson said. Also, these types of protection orders, even if they had, would have had some issues anyway. Says, I think the key piece here is that a protection order is simply a piece of paper that does not prevent a person from causing harm to another, is what Lowe said. It just puts them on notice and gives law enforcement the ability to arrest a person should they then violate the protective order. And sadly, in this case, violating that protective order was the worst kind of way, because he went ahead and he didn't have to worry about the laws afterwards or them arresting him for it, because then he, of course, as the coward that he was, killed himself as well. I don't know the answer to how this could change, but every time I've seen these types of situations, that even ones that didn't end as tragically as this one, and someone has a restraining order, what's the next step to keep that from happening? Because of course you can't just say, "Yup, she said so therefore you have to then be arrested." It's a hard one to deal with.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Especially in the society we live in where, so much violence. A lot of people don't have access to mental health care, don't have the resources, even if they had the access. And yeah, people like these folks who just get brutally murdered in their own home have no recourse. Like you perfectly illustrated, JR. They can't just arrest every single dude, and let's be clear, it's always dudes who is accused of stalking somebody, right? Like you have to wait for this guy to actually do something to actually pin a tangible and credible charge on the guy. So it's just horrible what happened to these folks, and it's crazy to think that this could happen to anybody realistically if somebody becomes unhealthily attached and obsessed with somebody.
And many times, at least, the folks then buying their guns and holding themselves up in the house, and then they end up the ones in trouble after they shoot someone that walks on their front doorstep and drops off a newspaper or something like that. I know it's not 1990 anymore, but still, nobody gets newspapers.